everyone, welcome back to Edible Abundance Homestead. I'm Ginger and today is July 10th. So I came out to my garden today to grab just a little bit of dill, to throw together some pickles for the fridge with, I think I have about 3 cucumbers, not enough to can, but we've been eating cucumbers enough that I don't think those 3 cucumbers are really looking that appealing right now to everyone. So I just came out to grab some dill. I've got some garlic and I'm just gonna throw together a quick batch of pickles to toss in the fridge. That's actually my preferred way to eat cucumber pickles because I really don't like how mushy they get when you can them. So I will eat as many fridge pickles before I get to canning them as I can, as long as I have space in my fridge, of course. So out here, I was gonna quick show you, we just got kind of sideswiped by Tropical Storm Fay. You can see some of the remaining dark clouds here behind me. So first of all, over here we have the most significant flooding now. It stopped raining maybe 3 hours ago, and this has receded significantly in that 3 hours. The sun came out for maybe an hour and dried it all up. At one point, this puddle came all the way past the door to the shed right there. It was all the way over here. That box sitting on top of the bench right there is actually our cat house, because the cat house sits on the far end of the shed and it had about 1 inch of water in it. So I had already moved the cats into the shed. We have 2 kittens right now. We got them a few weeks ago with the hopes of some critter deterrent, just having them around, having their smell around. So they're only a couple months old, and when it really started raining, I moved them into the shed. I had them set up in that shed when I first got them. So they had, they have a litter box in there. I just put their food and their water in there. They actually really like it in there because that's where they kind of were trained to be when we first got them, when they were too small, that I wasn't comfortable leaving them outside totally unsupervised. So anyway, as you can see here, I have a couple sunflowers leaning down, looking a little sad, but not really too bad. The wind was mostly blowing the sunflowers against the chicken fence here. So that, I think, saved them from getting knocked over too badly. This right here, this is my first sunflower to bloom, actually. And the wind is blowing the chicken door shut because it blew hard enough to knock the water that holds the door open out of the way. So that's what's kind of going on over here. The amazing big puddle. That area usually does not flood. Now, the area that usually does flood is over here on the back side of my garden. This right here. However, this is more flooded than usual, and the flood went all the way up and my onions went down. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do about these. They aren't really ready, but they aren't too far off from being ready. So some of the ones that are still standing up fairly well, I might try to just kind of prop them back up and see how they do. I have a feeling some of the ones that are really knocked over, I'm just gonna have to pull and make the best of it. This is my first year growing onions. It was a learning experience. I did not appreciate onions being as heavy in their needs for water and nitrogen as they are. So something I'm gonna improve next time. I also got onion sets. Next time I'm gonna do onions from seed. So hopefully I will have a better experience now that I know more about it. Some things I should have probably figured out before I planted the onions. The other main crop that was affected was my corn, my sweet corn. It looks great now because I went through and I planted essentially every single one of those. They were almost all knocked over. None of them had broken stems or stalks or anything, but I went through and I just, pushed the dirt around and sat them back up. My corn is really far behind because I was really late planting it. So, you know, I got to give it all the help I can. You can see some of that kale's falling over back there. That kale doesn't owe me anything. It is mid-July and I still have perfectly good kale that I can walk out here and harvest. I've been harvesting that kale for probably 5 months now. I'm actually waiting for it to go to seed because I'm going to save some of the seeds. This is the year of seed saving for me. That's kind of my goal. I'm trying to save more seeds than I ever have before, and I'm trying to save seeds from plants that I haven't saved from before, if only to have the learning experience of how best to save seeds. If you look at my first kind of wall of tomatoes here, actually, I'll go closer. That's my cherry tomatoes. The ground is really mushy in here from all the rain. So these are my cherry tomatoes. The green ties are from where I frantically tied up tomatoes one last time last night as I knew the storm was rolling in. My cherry tomatoes are not doing the best, and I think that's because I left pea plants out here to let them dry up so that I could save the seeds from the pea plants. The problem was the pea plants got pretty bad powdery mildew towards the end of their lives. And while that did not kill the tomato plants, I do think it hurt them. I had to prune off a lot more leaves a lot farther up the plants than I've ever had to before. And a lot of them, it was where they were touching the infected pea plants. Actually, here's one here so you can see here. So the idea that I had to use these same trellises for spring peas as I did for my tomatoes worked great, but I definitely do not want to leave the peas on to save seed on a trellis that I'm also putting tomatoes on. Like that didn't work. That was a bad plan, and I'm not going to do it again. I actually took a few of the prunings, the healthier ones from up top, on a couple of these plants, and I have them sitting in water on my kitchen windowsill because, like I said, I don't think the plants are gonna die, but like they just aren't producing a whole lot. They aren't as big and full and, you know, vibrant as I'd like them to be. So I think I have space to stick in a couple more plants here. So I'll probably try to do that. But anyway, other than that, really the tomatoes have weathered the storm really well. I thought maybe some of the tops that are up above my panels here might fall over or get knocked over. They really didn't. I had one cucumber on an arched trellis that got knocked over a little bit. I just tied it back up. It didn't break or anything. And other than that, everything did surprisingly well. My dill got a little pushed over. This is something else. I don't need all these seeds, and at some point here I'm gonna have to just go through and pull them. But like I said, I'm playing around with the seed saving. I did save some seeds before the storm came through. Some of the ones that were already kind of like brown and ready. And same with my cilantro over there. Just kind of experimenting and just trying. I'd really like to be able to be more knowledgeable in how I want to go about saving seeds, because having spaces prepared where things can be left until the seeds are ready is a level of planning that I haven't done before. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it there for now. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.